Does my head look
I can't tell you. I can't see you right now.
okay?
So, and here we are live. Okay, so we are back on track. Hello, Liz.
Hello, Eric. How are
And
you?
I'm well, and let's just re-record. Hello, Liz.
Hello, Eric. How are
Hello,
you?
Liz. How are you?
I'm doing
Oh
pretty
man,
good.
I tell you, we're getting closer and closer, but I think these are the little imperfections, in the
Hmm.
show, especially at the beginning. And even you and I are fighting technology sometimes instead of working with technology.
Right. Even kids know how to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it seems
Yeah.
to be, but obviously we haven't outgrown the kids. So, hmm, I'm like, how shall we take that?
Yeah. It's okay.
Outgrown
We're
yet?
getting there. We're getting there.
No, we're getting there. Give it another couple of hundred shows, and we will be there.
Hmm.
Well, we have really, I mean, some cool guests today. We have OG Fortune from Nigeria. We have your friend Dr. Monica Hinton here
Hmm.
on the show, and actually three pretty actual themes because we have also Jacob Shabovnik on the show, who is actually an immigration attorney, and which what happened over yesterday and today that the uh, California to California, I wish no, the Superior Court,
Right.
our Superior Court validated the DACA program for right now. And I know I'm not really expressing myself right, but that's why we have Jacob on the show who can explain us exactly what's going on with DACA. And
Right.
well, the cool thing is, people are watching the show, so that's nice. But what some people probably don't know or haven't really realized that you are actually a working fashion designer.
Yes, I am. I am a working fashion designer. I have my website up and running. People can, actually go on to lizzrussell.com, two Z's, two S's, and two L's. So I have
Yeah,
new products up and I'm actually doing masks now. So, and a
yeah,
few
I
other
know.
things
And
too.
actually, last show I actually complimented you on your beautiful love necklace, and
Mhm.
you told me actually someone then contacted you and bought it.
They sure did. They said, the
I
necklace
love
that
it.
you're wearing, is that for sale? I said, most definitely. They come in a lot of different colors. I have leopard, love ones, red, orange. They come in an array of colors. Yes.
This is so neat. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm glad. I'm really glad
Hmm.
because uh I know that when I asked you to come on the show, that it was you know purely voluntary,
Yes.
and doing this, really for fun. Um, I thought, I think we both thought it's going to be more entertainment, but through everything what's happening nearly on a daily basis, we are like a little bit reacting actually to what's happening on a day-to-day basis. And uh, one thing also we talked about today was about the cases of the two black men, found hung, and and not knowing what happened, but a
Right.
lot of let's not call it, people use fake news, but well, probably it is. Even I should maybe use that, but about news which is circulating, which is simply not true, invalid, where you can't go and fact check it, because after our discussion, I went back and see what's happening. And there's already, there's police reports have been done. Some are being retracted right now. So that's going to take a longer, to play out, I guess.
Yes, it is. It is. So I have to actually do a little more research on it myself. But I tell you, things are just unfolding on a daily basis. We take 2 steps forward, then we take 2 steps back.
Yeah.
So,
It's true.
but I really still feel like we're moving in the right direction because of, everybody is on board and knowing that there is a problem. There is an issue with race. It is.
No, there is one. And, we were talking about it. And, when I immigrated to the States, I was not aware how deep the divide was. I was discriminated about, when I lived in Germany because I was French, and people would laugh, hearing it here. What? They discriminated? Yeah, they did, It was only, oh God, not even 20 years after the war, and wounds were still fresh, and the French were not as much liked as they are now by the Germans at that time. But anyhow, speaking about, problems in general.
Right.
And teen pregnancy is a very, very big problem here in the United States. And, well, it happened not to be just a big problem in the United States. And herewith, I will be introducing OG Fortune. Hello, OG. How are you? I think, well, I was a little premature here. Hello, OG. Welcome on the show, OG Fortune. So nice to have you in the studio with us.
Thank you very much. I'm so grateful to be here.
And we're grateful to have you.
We are very, very grateful. So just for people which haven't read, our little show intro is, OG, you are in Lagos, Nigeria.
Nigeria, yes. Yes, I am.
So what time is it right now?
This is 12 a.m.
12 a.m. So thank you for staying up. I hope you have your favorite beverage there too.
Yes, I do.
Well, ooh, may I ask what's your favorite beverage in Nigeria?
Okay, smoothie.
Oh, okay, smoothie.
Yeah, my husband is a smoothie master, so we are into smoothies. So that's my favorite.
I love that. Well, please introduce yourself, to our viewers and tell them a little bit of what you do and that problem of, teen pregnancy that you encounter. And, we on the nearly other side of the globe, we have the same problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I am Mrs. OJ Fortune. I am married to Mr. OJ Friday. I'm from Nigerian. I stay in Lagos State. I am a teenage parenting and relationship coach. And I've been into teenage parenting for over 6 years now. And though I've not really been social about it, but on the background, I've been going to schools and I've been doing a background work on teenage parenting and also relationship coaching. So, but this year, I decided to go social. So I started to blog. I started a blog page called getbackfaith.com. And on the page, we have two things, relationship coaching and teenage parenting. I write articles on teenage parenting and relationship coaching. And by the grace of God, it's really been doing well, and I've really talked about so many things.
Go
Uh,
ahead. Here, I
okay,
just pulled up your website, for people to see.
all right, thank you very much. I'm grateful. So I've talked about so many things. I've talked about how to prevent teenage pregnancy. I also talk about how to bond with your kids. I talk about the diary of a teenage girl. I also talk about 5 ways to get over boredom. I also talked about 10 ways to communicate with your spouse. So there are so many things, so many useful information. There are so many useful information, educative and informative, to help you take care of your children, your teenagers mostly, and to also help you handle your home with your spouse. So I'm very grateful to God for the privilege for me to do that, because it's my passion and I'm running it with the whole of my heart.
So what would be, okay, what would be the type of advice, you can give a parent, and how to go about informing, your teenager, how to prevent getting pregnant?
Okay. In one of my articles on my blog, I wrote about how to know if your child is following you. That's if they are taking after your steps, or if they are listening to what you're saying. Like, we have three kinds of teenagers. We have the strong will, we have the obedient, and we have the followers. Now, in the followers, they do everything you do. They take a step after you. Whatever they see you do, that's what they do. They don't have a will of their own, and they hardly follow their own vision. Whether you're doing bad or good, they know that you are a parent and you're doing it, so they follow. Now, the strong will are the teenagers who have their own mind. They rule their own world. They want to live their life. They want to be them. You hardly have control over them. So they are difficult to control. And the obedient are those who follow steps, every word a parent gives. Now, a parent needs to understand these three personalities in their children. Who is your child? Is it the follower? Is it the obedient? Or is it the strong will? Now, knowing who your child is will help you to handle the personality of that child. Now, trying to train up a grown-up child is very difficult. So for
Yeah.
a mother or a parent to be able to groom their child or to train their child well, they need to start from the basis when the child is small, mostly for a girl child. A girl child from age 0 to age 3, she's very sensitive to the environment. She's very sensitive to her organs, to her body. She wants to know more. From age 5, 6, 7, she's open to learning. And that is the most time, the very important time, a parent needs to start to educate the child about her sexual organs, about the importance of relationship, and about the things around, the people around. Who is this? Who is this uncle? How are you related to this uncle? How are you related to this brother? Who is this person to you? With that, the child will be able to define each relationship around her, and it will help her to walk away from sexual abusers, because there are sexual abusers everywhere. Like, they can be your cousins, even your father, your brother, your sister. So, but when you are able to define who is who in the life of the girl child, the girl will be able to prevent so many things. And by that, she will be able to grow and prevent sexual abuse, which might cause pregnancy, teenage pregnancy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, but when we hear it like that, it seems simple enough, but we as parents know, unfortunately, it's never that simple, but it creates awareness.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's very important. Um, in the Nigerian school system, um, do they put a lot of emphasis into sexual education?
Okay, in the Nigerian education, it's not as like the emphasis is not strong at all. It's not strong. I don't even think it's only on clubs. They can have sex education club, and whoever
Yeah.
wants to belong can belong. But they didn't do it compulsory for all schools. It's only maybe, let's say, religious schools that are really taking cognizance of it, but not all the schools. Like public schools don't. So the students themselves involved in so many sexual activities that open them and make them vulnerable to getting pregnant or committing so many dubious activities.
Yeah.
I have a question also. Does this go for the young men too? Do you guys have counseling together, you know, with the teen pregnancy? Are the young men involved, the fathers, the young fathers, are they involved too? Do you have counseling for them as well?
Yes, they are very involved because they are part of the whole game. Like if they are not well educated, the children might start sleeping with themselves. Mostly the boys and the girls, when you leave them alone and go to work, you don't know what they are doing behind. You don't know what's going on in your home, right under your roof. But when they are well educated, they will be able to resist and they will be able to define their relationship between themselves. Even the fathers too is very important to enable them gain self-control towards their daughters or their children. So both the men and the female are open to the counseling.
Okay, that's a good thing because, you know, it definitely takes two, you know, and they're going to be young fathers. So they definitely need to know as well. Do some of them, do you guys encourage that they get married? I'm just curious, or they go their separate ways, or how does it work with, you know, them being so young? What do you guys encourage?
We don't actually encourage teen marriage.
Okay.
And but when it comes to a situation whereby the parents have the finances to finance them or take care of them, it's a good one. But you know, it is wrong to decide their future because of their mistake.
Right.
Bringing them together to get married, we are not certain of the future. Like the mistake they make today does not really determine the how do I even put it, does not determine the beauty of the future or the kind of future they are going to have. So they need to attain an attainable age, which is age 18, 19, 20, for them to make decisions for themselves, to know what is good and what is right for them, so that they will not regret tomorrow, or they will not divorce or separate tomorrow.
Okay.
OJ, thank you. OG, sorry. Thank you so much for your participation. You know, it's great, you know, to see it also from a totally different perspective, you know, you being in Nigeria. But like I said, you know, the same problems at the end of the day.
Right.
Sure.
Well, Liz, would you
Hello,
just like
Monica.
to welcome Dr. Monica, please?
Yes. Hey, Monica. Okay. Today we have Dr. Monica Hinton, PhD mental health therapist, and she's also the president of the Black Psychologist Association. Welcome, Monica. How are you?
Hello, Monica. Do you hear us? Monica, do you hear us? I think Monica can see us, but I'm not 100% sure she can hear us.
I don't think she can.
Well, that is actually funny. Well, you know, hey, Liz, that's what you have your phone for.
Okay.
OG, you see, you know, it doesn't make any difference where you are in the world. You know, we run into those technical difficulties. And Usha, I also, you know, invite you, you know, to stay on if you would like. You know,
Sure.
at
She
the end
said
of the show, we do have an open mic. Excuse me,
Sure, I
Liz?
will.
No, I don't think she is hearing us, which is Well, it's okay. We have Jacob who just came on the line, and it's his slot. So, hello, Jacob.
Gosh, I can't hear anything.
Hello, Jacob.
I think she's on now. Can you hear us, Monica?
We'll see. Hello, Jacob. How are you?
Hey, Eric, how are you? Good to see you.
Good. Well, so may I introduce to you, Mr. Jacob Shaboshnik? Do I still butcher it? I do. I know. I hate it.
Never
And
learned.
we've known each other only for like, I don't know, 15, 16 years.
That's good.
Immigration lawyer from the law offices of Jacob and Shaboshnik here in San Diego. And I know you're a busy man, like everybody here. We are all busy, but particularly in what happened yesterday in the court ruling, in DACA for the DACA recipients. I would.
Yeah, it happened today, actually. This morning.
Happened today, or the news was today.
Yeah.
And if you could elaborate a little bit on it, because I tried to explain it at the beginning of the show, and so many layman's terms, suddenly took over. But it basically says that right now they can stay.
Yeah, so basically, just for people who don't know what DACA is, so it's an executive order that President Obama, issued in June of 2012, and basically what that order did, it stated that those kids that were brought here, they were young by their parents, and as long as they were before the age of 16 when they entered a particular date, they had to be under 31 on June 12, on June 15, 2012, and come to the US before 16. They could be able to stay here and renew their permits every 2 years. And then for the last 8 years, they've been doing this every 2 years. Right now, we have about 850,000 of these DACA kids who are now, they're not kids anymore, right? They're working, some of them are medical professionals. And so 2017, Trump issued an executive order, just like Obama did. And in his order, he says, no more DACA. So no more DACA people can file, no more, you can't get new DACA applications. The only thing that you could do since 2017 is the ones that already had it could renew it every 2 years. And the decision today basically said that Trump's order was illegal, and it was essentially, he didn't do it correctly, and it violated the Constitution and things like that. And so now they essentially, DACA applicants can stay, they can continue to renew their applications. And we have to see in the next week or so if new applicants, people that never filed for DACA, because of this decision, if they can file those new cases today, this week, next week, we're gonna know in the next few days if people can file for new cases. But essentially, it's all good right now until the next time he fights it.
Until the next time he fights it.
Until the next time. Yeah.
Being an immigration attorney, at all times it's tricky because legislation has been changing a lot, I think, especially in the past 3 years.
Absolutely. Every week there's something new. I get up in the morning, I open my phone, we have Twitter and YouTube and all that. So every day something changes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's how do you cope with your workload right now in your office?
So it's not easy. Obviously, we're trying to we get a lot of calls every day. We have 5 people who answer the phones. All they do is answer the phones. We have a software that tracks how many calls we get every day, so we can see that we don't miss anybody. So we get about 190 new calls every single day. 190. Those are people that never ever talked to us before. Mm-hmm. And so these 5 people, they feed those calls, they talk to them. We have a whole system we have automation to respond to email, to text messages. I mean, it's just insane, you know. I do, we have a YouTube channel as well where we do, like today I did a live YouTube. As soon as I finish the live, people start calling again. I'm very active on TikTok. I don't know if you heard of TikTok, but TikTok has been a very powerful tool for
Yeah, I
us.
heard you are a good dancer. Yes.
No, I don't dance on TikTok, but I do get information out. Um, so yeah, it's been really effective, but it's the only way for people to know because things change every 10 minutes.
It is. It is. So I know that one particular time you were very active, with investors' visas. So did they totally dry up? Did investors into the American economy, get scared, or has that been, are they on standby, or what's happening there?
So it was a little bit slow in March, April, because of nobody could do anything. But now definitely there's been a rise in investment visas coming here, because American businesses are closing and investors see it as an opportunity. So we have a lot of Europeans that are coming, they're buying stores, restaurants. We had a client in Phoenix that he came from, I think was it Dutch, and he bought like a franchise, not a franchise. They were like 4 or 5 restaurants,
Hmm.
local Mexican restaurants, and he just bought them, and he's gonna do a different new concept. But he bought the building, the whole thing, because the owner went bankrupt. And so there's definitely more opportunities now for people to come and get investment opportunities, and they know that. So as soon as the flights are open, they're gonna come here and start buying.
Mhm. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
This is something someone may be interested in. I was wondering, um, do you have some special type of programs for those who really can't afford it? Your services? Is there, someone that's trying to reach you? How could they get in touch with you? And, is there a special rate or,
Yeah, of
can you talk
course.
a little bit about that?
I'll tell you what we did. So basically around April, we had a lot of people calling and everything. So what we decided to do is we built a private Facebook group, and the group is basically me and a bunch of the attorneys at the office. We answer questions. And anybody who's a member of the group, they get a special rate. I think it's like $75 for consultation as opposed to the $300 typically. And so we help people with the quick consultations about their cases. Since we started a group like a month and a half ago, we have almost 5,000 members in there. It's been a really fast growth. So yeah, so we offer a special rate for people that I can't afford. And we started an online course. We call this Immigration U. So people that are not able to work with an attorney, they can go and buy the course. The course is only $45, $47. There's a lot of new information in the course. And then we're going to start a membership, I think in a few weeks, just for people that are not able to work with attorneys on a regular basis. Once they become members, they can have access to some, a question and answer. So we did a lot of uh, pivoting during the crisis to help people. Like we bought a whole new phone system that is connects to video calls. We invested in a software that allows clients to complete their applications online instead of coming to the office. They sign even with their finger and everything. I mean, essentially, we don't even have to be here anymore. We can just work from home for the rest of our life. But
Right.
the members of the office, they like to see the clients sometimes. So like I'm in the office today. It's the first time of the week that I'm here. Before that, I wasn't here. I don't come to the office at all. But I had to come here to sign a few forms. But normally I'm not even here. So if anybody wants an office, come lease from us.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
I
it's
think
changing.
key
It's
is to
changing.
adapt. I think the key is to adapt. And I tell this to our clients, and I tell this to other attorneys and other business professionals. If you want to survive in this new economy, you have to innovate, re-innovate yourself, always.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So otherwise, it's not gonna
So,
work.
so from your point of view, so have you seen then a slowdown in immigration, or is it basically no, it's constant and people are still as interested to come, and settle, work, or invest into the US?
So I don't think that, well, March and April, everybody felt a slowdown, but it's not because of business, it's because people were scared, right? But now people need help. For example, our biggest cases are coming from overseas right now because people are stuck abroad. Green card holders, people with visas, they need help to come back and they're worried they're going to lose their benefits. So we have to provide letters of support. We have to help them speed up their cases. Immigration was essentially shut down since April.
Yeah.
So now they're reopening. People need help with, anything. So, there's definitely not been a decline in our business.
So how is it like with H-1B holders, who were waiting for renewal, which are now, the H-1B visa has run out. So they're kind of in limbo and waiting if their next visa is going to be approved or not.
Yeah. So for example, the H-1B visa that you're talking about is, it's a work visa, right? So
yeah,
for new H-1B visas, this year there was a different process where they can file them online and then they have 90 days to file. So people can still file them between March and the end of June if they won the lottery. But people that have H-1B visas, the problem right now is that a lot of companies are laying off employees. And if you have a visa to work in the US and you lose your job, then you have to go home. But how can you leave? You can't leave because the country is closed, right? So we have this kind of issues. You lost your job, you don't have a visa anymore because the employer terminated your visa, and you can't leave the US. So now you're breaking the law. So now we have to negotiate between those clients and the CBP and the Customs and Border Patrol and say, hey, this client cannot leave. Can you give them a satisfactory departure type of permit to stay here while the flights are opening? You know what I mean? So much anxiety here. People are just worried. And that's kind of how we come in the middle, trying to help everybody to navigate the system, right? Even a lot of tourists who are stuck here since April, Europeans who come on a 90-day permit, the ESTA, those people are stuck in the US. They need help to extend this ESTA, right?
Yeah.
So the government created these new forms and new procedures to help people who are stuck in the US to be able to stay longer. And that's kind of where we come in to help them.
It's true. We don't even think about that people are actually stuck.
Yeah, a lot of people are stuck. Yeah. Stuck in San Diego, right?
Yeah, that definitely, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jacob. Thank you very much for the information. And please feel free, to stay on. We do have an open mic at the end of the show. So if you want to ask, the other guests, questions, please, feel free. I know you're a busy man.
Thank
I
you.
know.
If it wasn't a day like today, I would stay for sure. But I have a consultation and a bunch of people are, But
Okay.
beautiful format, and I'll be happy to share once you finish the show and put it online. I'll share it with our audience and happy to help you push the show.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
awesome.
You. We all
Thank
appreciate
you so much
that.
for coming.
And like us on
I will.
YouTube.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so let's try again to introduce Dr. Monica.
All right, Monica, can you hear us?
Hinton.
All right, so you can hear this beautiful introduction. So we have.
Hold on, now she just has to unmute herself. Yep, she just unmuted herself.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hey, Monica.
Hi.
So we have Dr. Monica Hinton, PhD, mental health therapist, and she's also the president of the Black Psychologist Association. And she has been featured on quite a few news stations here over the last couple of weeks. And we are so happy to have you join us here today. Could you, tell us a little bit about yourself? And I do have a couple of questions.
Well, thank you, and happy to be here and get to see you, Liz. I haven't seen you in a long time. So I do have a PhD in clinical psychology. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. Moved here, 20 years ago now. That's a long time.
Wow.
So now I guess I'm a San Diegan for real now. And then I'm currently working at Sharp McDonald Center, and that program is an addiction program. And as you stated, I'm the president of the Association of Black Psychologists. I'm also, as of this year, on the board of the San Diego Psychological Association. So I stay pretty busy.
I see. I know you do.
Well, that's why thank you, taking the time, out of your day and being here. And OJ, again, thank you for staying up so long.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. I'm enjoying the show.
Yes. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Hinton, well, Monica.
Yeah. I go by Dr.
I
Monica,
love
so you
that.
can just say Dr. Monica.
Okay. So, could you tell us a little bit about some of the clients that you have, and the type of things that you come across?
Yes, so our program, like I said, works with addiction. So we have 3 levels of programming. We have an inpatient program, a day patient program, which is called PHP, 5 days a week. And then we have a IOP program, which is 3 days a week. Unfortunately, right now, because of COVID, our day patient 5 days a week program is on hold. And yeah, and then I cannot predict when it actually will open up. But right now, we do have our 3-day-a-week program. We've been doing that virtually. Starting next week, it is going to open back up to be in person. And then we have our inpatient program as well. So, and we work with people with recovery, with life challenges, with helping them find a sponsor, helping them find a therapist. Really, it's really their first step towards recovery. And so that's really our goal there, is to really work with them with that. Right now, my position involves in working with insurances, which is its own challenge. So once someone comes into the program, then we have to justify extended stay. And so right now that's my role, to really talk with insurances and justify why we want this particular person to remain in our program and to continue treatment. Research has shown us that for someone to really do their very best at recovery, they really benefit from a good 90 days of recovery, of really intensive treatment. And our healthcare system right now does not allow for that. So we just have to do the best we can with what we're given. And I have to say, I'm just going to toot our horn. We are pretty good at it.
All right, I know you are. I know you are. So I have another.
Sorry,
Oh,
go ahead, Liz.
Go ahead.
You mentioned before, are you working together in collaboration with the Ronald McDonald Foundation, or is it just at the Ronald McDonald House?
We're not connected with the Ronald McDonald House in any way. I want to use the term benefactor. I think that's the best term to use.
Yeah.
Donated to Sharp a large sum of money to make sure this program continued to operate. And her name happens to be McDonald. And so
it has nothing to do.
So it has nothing at all to do. So
well, I'm very happy to have that clarified.
Yeah, she's a local philanthropist here in San Diego, and she donated a large sum of money to make this program happen. It was under a different name prior to her stepping in, and then once she stepped in, it was in a position to really expand and excel. So that's where we are right now.
Okay, so I do have a question. So with all the things that are happening today, could you please shed a little bit of light, give some of our viewers some tips on how they can manage certain things if they're not able to, pay a visit, or, maybe insurance, some people they don't have it. They can't do it. So, can you give us a few tips of what they can do in the meantime?
Yeah. Do you have a specific question?
Well, I would say maybe more of the mental um, help type thing, because there are so many things, going on today,
Mm-hmm.
and people do need, assistance
Mm-hmm.
as far as, what are they able to do?
Right. Okay.
Hmm.
So, in general, if you don't have the insurance that will provide mental health resources, most insurances will provide some, at least therapy resources, so many sessions within a given year. So I would say definitely if you already have insurance, start there and just
Hmm.
call your insurance and see what they actually provide for you. Then,
Okay.
if you do not have insurance, uh, I would suggest applying for Medi-Cal, and there are resources and services you can get through Medi-Cal. And then, even if that is still not an option, then I would suggest calling 211. And you can call 211 from any phone nearly 24 hours a day. And then they can help direct you to some services here in San Diego. And each county, pretty much now in the United States, has a 211 line. And so you just dial 211 and ask for whatever services you might need. And if those services are free or at low cost here in San Diego, they will direct you to those services. 211 even helps with people needing to pay utility bills or finding housing or just
Wow.
food services. So it's a really good resource for people in the community. I've even used it. There have been situations in my life where I needed a little extra help. And so or had questions about something, um, even questions about immigration. I've used it that way as well. So it's a good resource to have. And you can
Okay.
any phone, it doesn't matter. So pay phones pretty much don't exist anymore, but when they did, you could still just pick up a phone and dial 211 and someone will answer.
Okay.
That is interesting. What does that number actually stand for? Oh, because I mean, frankly, I had never heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
so so
it's
now
it,
I'm like, 211. How could I have found that by accident?
um so okay, let me I'm gonna back up some years back, go back in
Okay.
history a little bit. Um, so 211 is underwritten mainly by the United Way. And so the United Way for many, many years had been a good service for finding resources. So, and I've been doing mental health a long time. If I tell you, you'll know my age, so I'm not going to tell you. But I've been doing mental health a really long time. And so United Way has always been of a place to find resources. And here, I think here in San Diego was one of the few first trials of 211.
Mhm.
And so they decided, well, we need an easy line where no matter where you are, you could just call this one line and get the resources and the services that you need. So I don't remember the date, so don't quote me, but it's been, I don't know, 2001, 2002 that initiated. And so now, since then, other organizations have stepped in. It's part of the San Diego's initiative to normalize mental health. And
Mhm.
so you can go online and do Help San Diego, and they'll lead you to 211, or you can go online and just type in 211 info, and
Oh, right.
it'll direct you to a website.
Mhm.
So it's just over the years have progressed until to a really good resource for community services.
So
Right.
it's really more local. I mean, if I
Yes.
would be in New York and dial 211, obviously would do nothing to me.
No, it would,
Mm,
because every county now has a
yeah.
211. So
Hmm.
if you happen to go to New York
Yeah.
and you find yourself needing some resources, you can dial 211 in New York, because now New York has a 211 services.
You know,
So
Liz,
Mhm.
sorry, I
yeah,
didn't want to cut you off.
yeah.
I,
So it's just really expanded over the many, many years of being in existence.
Didn't it start out being for like senior citizens, and that's
I,
what it kind of started out as.
I believe so. I believe so. It started off senior citizens to help them find services,
Right.
and for a while it was just to help people find boarding care homes, and now
Mm-hmm.
it's really, really expanded.
Exactly.
that's
And I
amazing.
have another question. Did you started your own business here recently, March the 14th?
No, I
Opened?
didn't. No,
Okay.
I didn't. But
Okay.
a member of the Association of Black Psychologists did, and hers
Okay.
that it opened March 14th. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
It's like, but one thing I think Liz wanted to touch on earlier and didn't come to it. I hope you feel really, really bad about the phone right now, but that's okay. You know, it's it just happens, and but I think one of the thing Liz we wanted to talk about was like the impact with COVID-19 and how that has impacted your workload.
well, for us at our facility, we cut back pretty drastically. Like I said, we had to stop the day program, and then the 5 day a week program. The 3 day a week program went virtual. So much
Mhm.
like what we're doing here. So they
Right.
went virtual. And then with our inpatient population, we even cut that down to half, and
Mhm.
had, because they live there, so instead of having two people to a room, there was only one person to a room, so that cut our services in half. And for us, we had to cut some of our work hours as well.
Yeah.
And but as a matter of fact, I had COVID. I tested positive. Yes.
Oh wow.
um, yeah, my brother and I lived together, and he got really sick, and then followed by me being positive. But I would have been considered asymptomatic because I had very few symptoms.
Mhm.
And
Oh.
yeah, so when I took him to be tested, I suggested, you should test me because I work in healthcare and I could get some people real sick if I go back to work. And turns out I was positive. So
Oh my
I had to
goodness.
stay home and wait it out until it was done. And then I was home for about 3 weeks, and then I was able to return to work.
My goodness. So you didn't have any symptoms or anything like that?
I had nausea. I had some diarrhea,
Oh.
some really tired, and then some mild congestion. I had a fever
Mhm.
maybe for 1 or 2 days. It never went. One day it went up to 100, but beyond that, it 98 I think was the max. And
Wow.
so so if you think, those are kind of everyday symptoms that people have,
Mhm.
people occasionally have diarrhea, people occasionally feel tired, people occasionally get congested. So
And get
um
that at the same time. Yeah, I can
exactly, and get
totally.
it all at the same time, and
Exactly.
you just think, oh well, I'm just having a bad day. But no, I was positive. So yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Wow.
so
Oh
I
my
was one of
goodness.
the few people in this, in the United States who had it, but not really experiencing severe symptoms. So
Yeah, that's a blessing. It
yeah,
really
I
is.
feel very blessed by that, most definitely. But
Yes.
nonetheless, I was shut in. I had to quarantine,
Mhm.
and because I didn't think I was sick, we didn't stock up. So
Wow.
so I had to depend on I had a lot of Grubhub gifts, and I was very appreciative. So
Wow.
yeah.
So do you think San Diego is doing a better job at you know, for us being tested, just different people being able to get a test?
I think
Yeah.
it's getting better. I still don't think it's to the place where it should be.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's getting better.
Yeah, I
So,
would agree to that because I asked 2 weeks ago, I asked for test and I can only go the 24th.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's
yeah.
unless you are not displaying the full symptoms or everything, they just put you on the back burner. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know what?
Wow.
I can understand because it should be more important to test people which you know need to be tested so they can
Mm-hmm.
process them one way or another.
Right.
But I'm going to get tested if I actually had the virus and have antibodies compared
Mm-hmm.
to being tested for do I have it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
And
have the antibodies too, by the way. I was tested for that as well. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So if you test again, you'll probably test positive, maybe.
No. So when you test for the antibodies, you actually test negative for COVID, but
Mhm.
positive for the antibodies. So that means that your body has built up the defense.
antibodies.
Yeah, the defense to
Mhm.
protect yourself, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't get positive again. From what I understand, is really what it means is that your sick cycle won't be so bad. Well, considering my sick cycle wasn't that bad at all, if I got positive again, I probably wouldn't even feel it or wouldn't even know because I wasn't that sick in the first place. So who really knows? They're still researching this
Yeah.
virus and finding new information, it seems like every day. So, therefore, we just have to wait and see
Yeah, every day
and
is
wear our
something.
masks and wash our hands and
Right.
keep our distance.
Yeah, that or
Exactly.
exactly social distancing is the easiest way really, but it's true we do have to go and shop and even there, it's like they started off, disinfecting your cards and everything, and now it's like you take your card and if you feel like disinfecting it, that then you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I
It's
still think it's very important for us to, be very, very careful.
Mm-hmm.
To me,
Mm-hmm.
going back too quick, that's just my thoughts. I'm
Yes.
just kind of still laying low, and I'll probably do that for a while until I
yeah,
feel comfortable because
Mm-hmm.
you never know.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, you can't see it, it's kind of hard to tell
Yep.
if you're not having any symptoms, then you don't
Mm-hmm.
know, but you could
Mm-hmm.
give it to somebody else, so.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's really the biggest problem. Well, I think we're already half into our open mic here, literally. So I would like to invite Oji back, to the discussion of things maybe she has to ask us, you know?
Yeah, sure, I do. I do have a question. And my question goes to Monica. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mhm.
I feel so positive when she said that she tested positive and she's not afraid. She's still fine. I want to find out what really gave her confidence, like where she got her strength from, why she wasn't afraid, she wasn't scared, even though she had little symptoms, but she's still strong and she still went back to work. So I really want to find out what was your strength, what's your courage, like
Um,
what's your hope?
I'm going to say my strength was my faith first and foremost. That I believe in God and I pray and I go to church and my church is online and so we kind of stream and talk and praise and so that was for me that was my strength and I also have learned on some level to kind of just go with the flow and plant bloom where I'm planted. So I decided to bloom and I learned some new recipes and connected with some old friends, and just used the time as best as I could to uh, pull myself together and get ready to go back to work. Towards the end, of course, I was a little bored, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm ready to have something to do. Um, but that's what I did. And then, of course, I use something. There's something that we teach, and at our facility, and it's called grapes. And so I used that as well. And so grapes stand for be gentle with yourself, relaxation, accomplishment, pleasure, exercise, and social. And so we recommend this to our patients. And so we, for G, reflect on something enjoyable, or just, give yourself a break. If you need to sleep, sleep, give yourself a break. Don't be so hard on yourself. Relaxation would be, meditation, or just listening to some good music. Accomplishment, I would make sure to do something positive each day that I was at home. Um, and I would make a decision and do it. And then pleasure, watch a movie. Well, I'm a superhero nerd, so I watch plenty of that. And
You subscribe to Disney Plus, yeah?
oh yes, 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 yes. And then exercise. I didn't feel much like exercising, but I did, do some stretching. And then S is for social. And like I said, I reached out to family members and friends, and caught up with old friends that I hadn't spoken with. And so I made sure to do that practice every day. And so that's one of the easiest things you can do to give you that strength. And then, of course, like I said, also for me, my spirituality is very important.
Right.
That is great.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
Yeah, just one.
No, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Actually, I'm so excited, and I've learned one or two things from what you said. But I really want to know the kind of recipes you tried on during that period, so that we can
Yeah, so I had never made what is it? Coco vin. And I
Yeah.
always wanted to learn how to make that, so I made that. And then I made something called honey garlic chicken, which is a Jamaican dish, and it was beyond awesome. And then I fried my chicken in the oven, and I made a dish called paprika chicken, which was really good. So yeah, I just kind of, tried my hand at different things. Some didn't work out so well, but others were brilliant. um, but yeah, so finally made banana nut bread. I never had made that before. And I had bananas and nuts, and I was like, well, let's give this a go. So I just looked in the pantry and saw, what do I have? And then I looked up a recipe that would match what I had. And I said, well, let's give that one a try. So that would be my accomplishment thing. So in my grapes, that would have been something I accomplished on that particular day.
Right. I love that. That's really cool. Grapes. I'm gonna have to get that from you because I didn't
Okay.
need to write that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we could all definitely use that. I find myself, I walk like 3 miles a day. So that really helps a lot, the de-stress type of thing. And I'm trying to, stay focused. Yeah, with that. And it really helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess on that note, then we just wrap it up. And my ladies,
Okay.
in this case, I have to really say just my ladies, because I'm surrounded by them. And thank you so much for being on the show. I hope, that the viewers get something out of it. We try to keep it light, but it never stays
Yes.
as light as we like. It always there's so much happening. It just
Yeah.
can't be all fluff these days, can it?
No,
No.
no.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
So, Monica, thank you so much.
Thank you for
OJ,
having
thank you
me.
so much for staying up so late.
Thank you.
It's like, well, about 1 o'clock in the morning now, is it?
Yeah, this is 5 minutes after 1.
Where
Oh
are
my
you?
God,
goodness.
hey,
She's
you
in
can go
Nigeria.
clubbing.
Oh my gosh.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah, go
That's
clubbing.
awesome.
Well, oh,
Yes.
no, you have to go social distancing. Sorry.
Yes. So Monica, you may have to check out her website. What is
Getbackfaith.com.
what is the name of your website again? I'm sorry.
Getbackfaith.com.
Getbackfaith.com.
Yeah.
All right. I definitely
Yeah,
will.
she put it up early
Absolutely.
enough. She got it. That's really a good, site,
Yeah.
a good
Very
domain name.
Very nice. Yes.
Thank
So
you.
thank you, Monica. I truly
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you coming. Thank you, OG. I appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you for
And
having me.
Thank
hey,
you for
you're
That's okay.
Nice
welcome.
We'll
meeting
have you back
everyone.
again too.
All
Okay,
right.
that's
Yeah.
fine. Anytime.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.